Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, do your dance at the
Here it is, the film you've been waiting for, starring the new Bugs Bunny and the fabulous Michael Jordan in the animated spectacle of the century.
Ready?
In Space Jam, Bugs is bigger, badder, and buffed up.
Wow. Whoa, nice deltoid.
From his earliest cartoons, Bugs has single-handedly bucked the odds, spurned the fates, and laughed in the face of danger.
Look, Doc, are you looking for trouble?
But in Space Jam, Michael Jordan is roped into helping Bugs, whether he likes it or not. For the next half hour, you'll see a sneak preview of Space Jam. The special effects, the eye-popping animation, the incredible teamwork, and the talented stars that went into making this great movie. So welcome to Jammin' with Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan.
We seek the one they call Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny.
Have you seen him?
Where is this guy?
It's a film moviegoers have waited over 60 years to see. The greatest basketball player of all time, paired with the most popular collection of cartoon characters. Toss in Ivan Reitman, Hollywood's most successful comedy producer, and revolutionary computer animation, and you have Space Jam.
You know, there's a 50 or 60 year tradition. These are characters that the whole world loves, that the whole world knows, you know, and this is the first feature film that involves them. I mean, there have been feature films that have been compilation films where they've taken old 10-minute or 6-minute cartoons and put them together into some new form. But this was the first time we were taking a movie that was really designed for these characters to act all the way through in one complete plot.
Bugs Bunny.
Oh, look, is that Michael?
Michael!
Basketball.
Ew, I thought I saw. I did see Michael Jordan.
It's only natural that Michael Jordan is starring in Space Jam, since he's amazed audiences with his outstanding feats on the basketball court. Michael's drive for perfection began at an early age. His perseverance, dedication, and fierce competitive spirit paid off when he was voted the College Player of the Year while at the University of North Carolina. Since then, awards have continued to pour in. He's the Chicago Bulls' all-time scoring champion. He's won 4 NBA championship rings, and he's been voted the game's most valuable player 4 times. By all accounts, Michael is not only the greatest basketball player of all time, but also a beloved personality the world over, a quality he shares with Bugs Bunny.
Hi, I'm Michael Jordan, and I got to know Bugs pretty well doing our movie Space Jam. Boy, what a life this guy has. He had the usual tough breaks, small house, large family, and I mean large family. You know, rabbits. But he's always had confidence in himself, even back in those early years.
Long before Space Jam, Bugs realized he was something special. The day he was born, he knew he was different from the other kids. He was a rabbit in a human world. Of course, that didn't stop him from trying to act like a human. But more often than not, the results were disastrous. As you can see from these classic cartoons, in job after job, Bugs managed to irritate, infuriate, and exasperate everyone he came into contact with. And all he was trying to do was help.
Finster, here's your formula. Finster! 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 Where are you? Okay.
Throughout his classic cartoons, Bugs could always cook up trouble.
Cacciatore and the pizza that's good to chew. Atsamara, you know, like me. Hey, atsamara for you. Don't eat it awful while it's still a season. Pardon. That's all right. You good kid. Ew.
Bugs Bunny!
Bugs' career took a step forward when he ran into Elmer Fudd, who invited him to shoot a screen test at Warner Brothers.
Me, what's up, Doc? What's cooking? What's up, Doc? Oh, you're looking for Bugs Bunny bunting. Duck is gonna hunting just to get a rabbit skin, but now the rabbit's gonna get. What's up, Doc? What's cooking? Rabbit! Hey, look out! Stop! You're gonna hurt someone with that old shotgun. Hey, what's up, Doc?
The longevity of Bugs, I think a lot has to go with his diet. I mean, carrots must be very healthy for you. He looks really good. You know, when I was a kid, I watched him. He's just as lovable now as he was when I was a kid.
I'm so unimportant.
Ever the loyal bunny, Bugs insisted that all his pals from his early cartoon days be given parts in the new film. Of course, no role could be as big as his. For Space Jam, Bugs also insisted that they be given the same expert makeover job he had received. Oh, and that's not all. Space Jam is jam-packed with new characters like the film's villain, Swackhammer, voiced by none other than Danny DeVito.
Do you know what new attractions mean? Not the old attractions, new ones. Get it?
That's fabulous. We have that. Keep going.
I'm going.
And Bugs Bunny is my absolute favorite character of all time. Bugs, because he's a rascal, you know, and I really like him. Ivan Reitman, who was producer of Space Jam, called me one day. He says, you know, this villain of Schwackhammer. And I spent a couple of days doing this really evil, crazy man from outer space.
Okay. Academy Award!
He's drawn like big, giant, bulbous, kind of vicious, drooling character.
Right.
Had they worked with me first and then drawn the character, it would have been a lot more debonair.
That was good. Very nice work. That stuff is hard to do. I mean, very good sport, yeah.
As if that wasn't enough, producer Ivan Reitman and director Joe Pytka have called on the biggest names in basketball to appear in Space Jam. Unfortunately, the players are robbed of their skills by Swackhammer's evil scheme.
I'm a huge basketball fan, and so if you're a basketball fan, this movie's like a trip to the candy store. You got the greatest player of all time, Michael Jordan. In the film, we also have Patrick Ewing and Larry Bird and Sean Bradley and Muggsy Bogues and Larry Johnson. I mean, these are really, and don't let me forget Charles Barkley. He'd be very angry if I forgot him.
Hey, perhaps I could be of some assistance.
Space Jam also stars Bill Murray, the only human with as much attitude as Bugs.
Well, I never really anticipate playing the game with Bill Murray, but when I looked to the left, actually I looked to the right. Actually, I don't know which side I looked at, and I saw him. I was really nervous about passing the ball and if he could get it back to me if he had the skills, but I mean, he surprised me.
Doc.
Yeah.
You kick it into the girl bunny.
Yeah.
Down in the post. You dish it back out to the guy bunny.
Got
You
it.
swing it around the mic over here. You go to the hole and dominate. We on defense.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, I don't play defense. Typical.
Creating a complex, multifaceted, technological masterpiece such as Space Jam takes an army of technicians, artists, and craftsmen from a variety of different fields, all working together to make sure their piece of the puzzle will fit seamlessly into this astonishing new world. The Bugs Bunny of today has the same spirit he had nearly 60 years ago when he first sprang to life in a small Warner Brothers animation studio called Termite Terrace. His parents were a group of outrageous animators, including Bob Clampett and Chuck Jones. Life at the studio could be as loony as the cartoons they produced.
I think Bugs is different than all of our characters, and that is that he's a comic hero. I would say that the first Bugs Bunny was different, so it took 2 or 3 pictures for anybody to realize exactly what they were working with.
Once I knew a thing or two, but now I'm a buffaroo. Hinky, dinky, parley, woo-woo.
Bugs looked quite a bit different in his formative years. But when director Tex Avery stepped in, his magic touch catapulted Bugs to stardom. With Avery's direction, Bugs became tougher, wittier, and was given 3 magic words which would become his trademark.
What's up, Doc?
The words were Tex Avery's, but the voice was Mel Blanc's. Known as the man of 1,000 voices, Mel was responsible for capturing the irrepressible spirit of Bugs Bunny.
What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc?
What's up, Duck? What's up, Croc? What's up, Beaver Puss?
While Bugs was trying out new insults, the animators at Warner Brothers were trying their hand at mixing live action with cartoons. As long ago as 1940, Porky Pig entered the human world when he visited the Warner's lot.
But I am gonna throw you out!
The animators of the 1940s would be amazed by the technical marvels of today's Space Jam.
We're making 2 very big movies side by side, a very big live-action comedy, you know, starring the greatest basketball players in the world, and we're making this great, hopefully, animated film. And then once the 2 are together, finished, then we have to put them together into some kind of meaningful way.
What sets Space Jam apart from any other film ever produced is its use of high-tech computer animation, an advanced technology that combines live actors with cartoon characters.
In this case, we have live actors working in a toon world, toons working in a live world, all of them working in a computer graphic world.
This is the largest film that I've dealt with in the case of visual effects.
And in this case, it means overseeing 17 different studios around the world and roughly 906 people.
The first step begins with the creation of detailed storyboards for the entire film. Then an international team of animators begin drawing some of the most recognized faces in the world.
2D animation is still done the way it always has been. A person sits down with a blank piece of paper and a pencil, and they draw.
The next step involves live filming with Jordan and other actors working on a giant green stage with a process called motion tracking. Other actors dressed in green act as the cartoon characters for reference and will be replaced later.
What we had to do was create a green screen that had reference points on them, and these were red balls where we knew the distance of them from each other and how they related to where Michael's position was and where the camera was. What we tried to do with Michael was to place him in an environment that we could then track his movements and put that into a virtual environment in post-production. So what we could do then is to shoot very freely and let Michael be spontaneous in the way that he played his game.
If Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan shake hands, they are really shaking hands, even though Michael Jordan really is either shaking the air or shaking some piece of green.
Deal.
To help the production staff, animators on set take photographs of Michael in action and immediately draw in the characters to give a perspective for the scenes.
You do a scene and then you turn around and there's a storyboard with you and Bugs and, you know.
12 million more to go.
Next, the backgrounds, animation, and live action are scanned into a computer, resulting in a pencil line animation. The computer offers technological advances never utilized in a feature film before.
Once the motion of the camera is captured from the live action into the digital, we then have the ability to manipulate the virtual world any way we want. And then we have the ability to change the lens lengths. We could raise the camera, we could lower it, we could spin the stadium around.
Or even create an entire virtual stadium with 25,000 screaming tunes.
Michael Jordan!
Well, this is a wireframe version of the stadium. What we did was we took architectural plans of a real basketball stadium and recreated in the computer. And these camera moves that we created in the stadium is something that you could shoot live action and then animate to.
At this point, the animators have to match the cartoon characters with the newly input movements.
So then we had to kind of choreograph the monsters around Michael and working with Michael to make it feel like they're playing a basketball game.
The film also utilizes a cybercam, a camera that shoots 3D images of the actors that can then be ingeniously incorporated into the computer animation. This scene involves actor Wayne Knight. It's at this point that anything can be digitally added to or deleted from the animation.
We then take the tone mats and rim lights to apply shadow or bright light to the character to sort of match Michael Jordan's lighting.
Our job is to make the whole thing as seamless as possible so that an audience looks at it and believes that these characters, whether animated or live, coexist in this environment.
A lot of the technology used in this film was truly amazing. If they can make me look good, they can make anybody look good.
I was telling him what a good job he had done under the worst possible circumstances, because many actors can go through an entire career and not deal with the problems he's had to deal with. I mean, run around with a bunny for a movie, I mean, you gotta be pretty brave to do that, pretty self-secure too.
Bubs.
Special delivery! You want to play a little one-on-one, doll?
Doll?
Uh-huh.
On the court. Bugs.
On the road to the game of his life, Bugs has to deal with a beautiful distraction, the delightful Lola Bunny, who has some very definite moves of her own.
The girl's got some skills.
Back before Space Jam, Bugs, just like any red-blooded rabbit, fell in love over and over again. What he lacked in technique, he made up for in enthusiasm.
Wow! What a hunk of feminine ultra-tuning!
In those days, Bugs was a rabbit of few words, and he took matters into his own hands. Never one to take no for an answer, Bugs had to learn his lesson the hard way. But put that romance on hold, we've got a game to play.
Let's do some drills.
In training for the big game in Space Jam, the Toons get to see why Michael Jordan is celebrated as the greatest basketball player of all time. Michael never takes his game lightly. During shooting, he kept in shape for the film and also for the 1995-96 NBA season by practicing on a court specially built for him on the Warner Brothers lot.
Is here almost every single day of shooting and works out every day and goes to this little dome thing he's got and plays with usually a dozen or so other NBA players, the best.
It's a superhuman effort on his part. I shoot all day and I go home, I'm totally exhausted. Well, he's worked out and then he plays basketball for a couple of hours at a high level of intensity.
That intensity paid off big time in the upcoming NBA season when Michael led the Chicago Bulls to their 4th championship. In Space Jam, Michael has to lead a different team against a very different opponent.
What are you looking at?
Contributed to the Space Jam soundtrack. Seal has recorded Fly Like an Eagle. Additional tracks come from R. Kelly, Quad City DJs, and many other top recording artists.
Music is very important in all films. I mean, it's one of the ways that we deepen the emotions in a film. In an animated film, it's particularly important because there is no natural sound in an animated film. It all comes, you know, from creating things that then the animators draw to. And the way you fill things out even greater than a live-action film is with music.
Thanks very much, Bill, but we had something a little larger in mind, like an orchestra, a symphony orchestra. As a matter of fact, composer James Newton Howard uses many different styles of music in Space Jam. And as with everything else in the film, the producers gathered the very best musicians they could find to help him realize his vision.
I think for any composer,
working in animation is one of the ultimate challenges, and I think particularly Warner Brothers animation because of the legacy of Carl Stalling, who defined the genre so completely. The challenge here was to contemporize it in a way that it would work and be effective in 1996, so it was a big job.
With the score complete, Space Jam heads into the final stages of production. All the hard work and the thousands of details finally come together into the finished film. Now Bugs and his pals are physically fit, mentally prepared, and all psyched up. And with Michael Jordan in the backcourt, they're ready for anything.
How about we go out and kick some alien butt, huh? Let's go. How about it, huh? Ready? Let's go.
Yeah. Here they come, the Toon Team of the Century.
You heard of the Dream Team? Well, we're the Mean Team.
The Monstars are meaner than all the other villains the Looney Tunes have ever faced. In Space Jam, Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny definitely have their hands full, trying to stay one step ahead of their unearthly enemies.
Monstars stole the talent from the NBA players.
Space Jam is pulsing, pounding action, outrageous comedy, and the biggest basketball game in Looney Tune history.
But what if we win? Forget me.
It takes real faith and the help of some special friends. With the odds stacked against them, the Toons will need to find strength they never knew they had. Can they really win the big game and find their way to a happy ending?
Nice butt!
We'll never know until you see Space Jam.
Thanks, Bugs, for everything.